The United States is arranging evacuation flights for Americans trying to flee Israel. Charter flights will begin on Friday for U.S. citizens and their immediate family. People will be flown from Israel to parts of Europe. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe reports.
The Biden administration's decision to organize charter flights to get people home comes as the major U.S. airlines suspended operations there for the next several weeks.
We know there's a demand signal out there, and we're going to try the best we can to meet it.
Megan Simmons is desperate to see her sister and family who live near the Gaza border and have been struggling to find a way out.
All you want to do is hug your family member and know that they're okay. And knowing that the U.S. government hasn't done that yet it's very frustrating.
The charters beginning Friday will travel to Athens or Frankfurt, while ships will leave Haifa in northern Israel, ferrying people to Cyprus. A State Department notice says any passenger must be ready to leave within 8 to 12 hours, bring only a suitcase, a small carry-on, and no pets. And they'll have to pay back the government. France, Mexico, and Brazil have already begun evacuation flights, which makes this even more frustrating for Megan Simmons.
It feels like every minute that she's there, she is one less minute where she's safe.
And Ed joins us now. Ed, how long is the U.S. prepared to make these flights available?
It's a good question, Jeff. All we know is that they will begin on Friday. There could be upwards of 20,000 people interested in getting out of Israel, either on flights or on ships that will take them to nearby Cyprus. But either way, it looks as if they are ready and willing to do this for as long as it takes.
Are there any plans right now, Ed, to help Americans evacuate Gaza?
It's a good question and one worth calling out here. The State Department continues to say it's working with Israel and Egypt on some kind of a humanitarian corridor that would allow people to leave Gaza through the southern part of that region into Egypt. There have been a few days of protracted talks about this. It's part of the reason why Secretary of State Blinken is in the region. U.S. citizens in need of assistance, the State Department says, can go fill out a crisis intake form at travel.state.gov. That would be for Americans inside Gaza who are trying to get out.
Okay. And we're also, I want to ask you about the $6 billion that's been the point of a lot of discussion here. This was the money that was unfrozen as part of this hostage swap or prisoner swap with Iran last month. That money that was unfrozen is now apparently refrozen in a way?
Well, the White House and other U.S. officials, Jeff, continue to insist that money has been frozen, has been untouched since the agreement was reached. It's been sitting in a bank account in Qatar. But today, CBS News has learned that the U.S. and Qatar have an agreement now. A quiet understanding is how it's been described to us, that the money will remain there without Iran's ability to access it. The idea is that ultimately approved vendors, this is what U.S. officials say, would be able to tap that money to buy food and other supplies in a humanitarian sense for the Iranian people. But the White House has been facing bipartisan pressure from Democrats and Republicans alike not to allow Iran to access that money. For now, at least, it looks like the plan. But they continue to insist it's been sitting there anyway. There have been no requests to tap it.
It's a quiet understanding that's become a loud message. Ed O'Keefe at the White House, thank you.